dating coach and relationship expert Jennifer Hurvitz, and welcome to Doing Relationships Right. Raw, authentic, and insightful, this podcast is a no bullshit look at all things dating and relationships. The good, the not so good, and the what the hell was that? No worries, I've got you, and we'll figure it all out together without taking ourselves too seriously here on Doing Relationships Right. Here you are at midlife. Your boobs have entered a new zip code. You have genes older than your daughter's new fiance. And now you're single again. But is that cause for a crisis? Hell no. It's time to pick yourself up, Buttercup. Whether you're freshly unhitched, just dipping your toesies back into the dating pool, or ready to dive into a new relationship, my new book, Midlife Priceless, a dating coach's guide to finally doing relationships right, has you covered with new dating and relationship advice tailored to meet you wherever you are in your relationship journey. Join me, Jennifer Hurvitz, author of best-selling books, One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, as I share BS-free tips and laugh out loud personal anecdotes to help set you on the path toward finally doing dating and relationships right. Grab your copy of my new book, Midlife Priceless, at jenniferhurvitz.com. That's jenniferhurvitz.com. Good morning. Good morning. This is Doing Relationships Right. I'm Jennifer Hurvitz. I'm your host for Doing Relationships Right. I don't know when it is. It comes up sometimes. I don't know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Wednesdays. I don't know, whenever I feel like it. But I really feel like it today because last week on my Instagram feed, well, everywhere, I posted a reel and it went nuts. And people were like, some people were really excited about it and other people were like, giving me a little pushback. And I like the pushback. It brings up conversation. I like people to give me their opinions. It's nice, especially when they're the same as mine. That makes me very, very happy. But yeah, it's all good. But here's the thing. We're talking about today. Today we are talking about living apart together, otherwise known as
LAT.
Oh, look who's in the house. I brought Jim with me today. Jim is here with me to talk about living apart together because it's what we do. If you don't know about Jim and I, Jim, my boyfriend, partner, person, lover, so stupid, isn't it? my main man, we have been living apart together since 2017. What? Oh, he's talking and whispering to me, and it's inappropriate behavior, Jim. Anyway, so yeah, we live apart together. We've been living apart together since 2017 with a little hiccup in there somewhere. And it works for us. And we are trying today to destigmatize living apart together. And I'm not talking about living apart in your first go around of marriage. I don't think. Maybe we are. It's hard to say. We're going to get there. But I'm more talking about like, you've been married, you get divorced, you meet someone new, and you do not blend the families. I'm all for not blending families. I've always been against blending families. If you follow me on the podcast and you've listened to my stuff, I've done many a podcast about how you don't have to blend families. Everyone thinks you do have to blend families. You don't know what you don't know. And so I've taught you guys, hopefully, that you don't have to blend. You don't have to mush families. There's lots of good reasons not to. I've done podcast after podcast. I've written books about it. So if you want to talk about blending families or how not to blend families, I'm your girl. Because I believe in not blending them. Anyway, so I'm going on and on. Let's just jump into this. Jim is here today. We are going to talk about living apart together, the pros, the cons, and I'm also going to read some comments today off of my Instagram feed because there were some really good ones, some really good points that people had about just living apart together. And basically, I'm going to tell you this much for free. It is on the rise. Living apart together is on the rise. It's a trend for 2024. In 2019, it started really taking off, I think, about that. We have a couple stats for you that I think you're going to want to hear and some reasons why it's just what you should be doing, I think, if it works for you. And if it doesn't work for you financially, then it doesn't. But these are choices. They have to like align with what you're doing, right? If it works for your relationship, then it works. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But this is something that people don't know about. And I think that people think that it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're living in two different places. They must not be in love. Bullshit. They are in love and they're happy, and stop saying that they're not. Okay, Jim, what do you got for us today? Hold please. Let's get Jim.
Hi, Jim. Hello. I have very little for you. sadly. So apparently 25%, there's been a 25% increase in married people or married couples living apart from 2000 to 2019. So it's on the rise. As you said, the last 25 years, it's been increasing. And they estimate 3% of all couples these days, American couples, are LAT.
Okay, but so this is how we started. Let's just go back. We started this way because our kids, we got divorced, both of us separately to other people. And then we decided that we were going to live apart. Well, first of all, you're an hour away from me.
45 minutes.
It's an hour. And secondly, we just thought to ourselves, like, there's no reason for our kids to meet because what's the purpose if we are not at that time moving in together? And we chose to live apart, right? So we believed that they didn't need to meet, and it just kept going that way. And we've been in two separate places ever since. And we see each other. So everybody knows we are still committed to each other. We are not in an open relationship by any means. And no, we aren't.
We aren't?
This is hard. We're using one microphone today instead of our usual setup because my house is being worked on.
Yes, it's being worked on.
It's being worked on. And I'll tell you why too. Oh, that's another thing we want to talk about.
That's another thing.
That's another topic about my kitchen being remodeled. Anyway, but what was I saying?
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I was saying that basically we decided to live apart, and even our friends asked us. Like, do you remember back in the beginning? Like,
yeah, we got major pushback.
Our friends were like, what do you mean you're not living together? And what do you mean I would never date someone if they don't want to live with me, or there was no marriage in the future, or there was no ring on my finger? And we just felt differently.
That is true.
And I remember thinking like, okay, well, I think we're going to be stronger if we live apart. And I think that we see each other every other week.
Yes, that's where you're going.
Yes, that was
before.
Right.
Squirrel.
So we have week on, week off. So 1 week we're with our kids, and the next week, next week on, we are together 100%, which has really been an amazing thing for us.
Or at least free of kids.
Free of kids, right? Free of kids. And now both my boys are in college, so I'm free 100%.
Yes.
And
I'm not free 100%.
He still has his son.
One in college, one in high school.
One in college, one in high school. So, like, eventually we'll be in together?
We'll be 100% free.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Well, we'll get
eventually.
Do you think we're going to live together eventually?
We'll see.
Maybe, who knows? We'll see. But I will tell you this much as far as the kitchen goes. So, can I share?
Sure.
So I was like, look, what's better than, I don't need to be engaged, and we don't need to be engaged. We know where we stand and what we're doing with our lives. He's my person. But I was like, we don't
need a blood diamond.
We don't need a blood. No, we don't. But we do need a new kitchen in my house. So Jim was like, look, I'll pay half for the kitchen. And I was like, oh my God, it's better than an engagement ring.
It is better than an engagement ring.
I know, right? So I got a new kitchen.
You can use it every day. What do you do with a ring? You just wear it.
Right. So now
it's
I'm
pretty
like,
boring.
So I guess we're kind of engaged to be engaged.
We're engaged in a kitchen.
We're engaged
in a remodel. As opposed to engaged in a relationship, right, as we have been for 7 years.
Exactly. So I just want to tell you that I think it works. And I think that there are lots of reasons why it works. There are lots of famous couples that do this, Gwyneth and Dr. Pepper is she famous?
She's famous in your world.
I love that show, Married with Children. What's it called?
Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight. Yes. And who else? There's some other people.
Helena Bonham Carter.
She does it. And you know what? Financially, if it doesn't,
I'm sure there's others, but yeah.
And if financially it doesn't work, it is definitely.
Are you going to talk about the benefits, Jennifer?
Yeah, let's talk about the benefits.
Are you going to talk about why? Why would you want to do this, Jen?
Well, there's lots of reasons. It provides couples with a deeper view on what needs need to be met. Like, obviously, if you're cohabitating all the time, I think it's like walking in eggshells, personally. If you're living together, and everyone's better. The first 30 days, 90 days you're dating, right? Yes. And then let's say you date for a year and you jump into a house together. You don't know how a person actually is until you live with them, right? Or you don't live with them. Or you live with them with this, right? Don't you think? So
it does offer quite a bit of independence.
Yes.
Which I think is nice.
Yeah.
To allow you to do the things you want to do, and you can work out when you want to work out, or you can, eat the meals that you want to eat when you want to eat them and not have to, put up with the other person and their dietary restrictions.
Wow.
What?
Or watch the television you want to watch.
Watch the shows that you want to watch.
Yeah, because I really do enjoy
that
the
allows
shows.
you to watch Dancing with the Stars, which I can't stand.
Yeah, you hate that. And Bachelor you hate.
And Idol. I like some Bachelor.
Oh, Idol starting soon, honey. We're going to be watching that together.
Idol's a no-go for me.
Yeah, but then like we talk
it's
about
a hard
it.
No.
But I'll text you and I'll be like, can I start whatever show without you? And you're like, no, wait for me.
Yes.
And then I wait for you. We're nice about that. Right? Don't you think?
True. It also allows you to live where you want to live. So if you're an established professional couple and one of you has got a job in Chicago and the other one's in New York, you don't have to give up your job just because you found someone you love. And you can, yes, there's lots of, issues there. There's, travel and all that to deal with. But, if you're really a go-getter and doing well in your career, you don't have to upend your career for someone you're dating.
Right. And let me just say this is really, really important, I think. It's that you have to remember that you can't be, this is not like a resentful thing. This is not a negative thing. This is not like, okay, well, we're not working out being married. And so now we're going to live apart and see if that works. I think like if you go into this with resentment and anger, you don't have a shot at it. This has to be something that like works for both of you. You love each other. You know that you want to, remain in a romantic, intimate connection with the person. You just live apart until you see each other, which is kind of hot. It's kind of romantic. We get to see, my heart still flutters when you come over on Friday night.
Yes, but then it stops fluttering and you want me to leave.
No, I don't. But I mean, like it definitely has its pros. Yes, it has its cons too. I do miss you. I do.
Yes, I miss that too.
Yes. And the week that we're apart, I don't like sleeping alone. I mean, I don't. I mean, I like most of the time sleeping with you.
Most of the time.
Except when you snore. You were snoring last night, honey. It's really annoying. Anyway, but yeah, so like, it has its pros and cons, but I really do think all in all, it's like the way to go. I just really do. And I'm not moving the microphone. Sienna, my producer is going to have a really hard time with this one. She's going to kill me for the way that I'm using this microphone. It's going to be like, so sorry everybody about the volume issue today. Okay. I'm going to read a couple things off of my feed that I got this past week from Crystal. What does that say? Crystal Raz at Crystal Raz, soon to be divorced. And it sounds like the perfect time, starting fresh and excited to create a home that's just mine for me and the kid again. Don't have to compromise at all. Don't have to compromise at all on my space. Neither would he. Totally willing to try this. It seems no kid is ever excited about mom or dad's new significant other. Thank you. Moving in, and they've already had so much trauma. So that's a good reason to do it. I agree with that. 100%.
That's the main reason we did it.
Yeah. Go on.
We didn't want to, we didn't want the boys exposed to that kind of stuff. We waited many, many months before we even said we were seeing somebody.
Yeah.
And then once we did, the next step is kids, and we didn't feel it was fair to put the whole kid situation on the other kids and force 4 kids that don't know each other to get along and deal with any of that potential mishigas. So we chose to remain separate.
Right.
Unblended, if you will.
Right. And our unblended happy family. And it's funny because my kids just recently in college asked me, they're like, are we ever going to meet Jim's kids? And I was like, well, sure. If we get married, you'll meet them at the wedding. Like there's no reason to blend your families, really, unless there's a purpose. Like we don't do it. Like even the holidays we spend separately. It's not that we don't want them to be friends or we don't want them to meet each other. We're not hiding them from each other. We just feel like it's one more extra added layer of a relationship it's difficult enough, Okay, let me read one more from Tare 8156. Thank you, Tare. Absolutely. Let me share my wisdom as someone who has experienced I can't read today, who has experienced, I think she meant experience, a long-lasting marriage. Trust me when I say that having a separate space or even living apart can actually strengthen the bond between partners. After spending years living with someone, it's all too easy to fall into a monotonous routine that can ultimately jeopardize a relationship. So without a doubt, I wholeheartedly agree that being together yet maintaining separate living arrangements can significantly reduce the likelihood of divorce. Thank you, Tara. I agree with that. 100%. I don't know. I think that we need to stop making this a negative thing. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that they live in 2 different, even 2 different levels of your house or in different bedrooms or whatever works for your relationship, do it. And I think give it a try and destigmatize the help me out, Jim. I can't think. He's looking at me like
a deer in the headlights.
Like, speak, Jen, speak. Yeah, like just get over it. Get over the shit. Like there's a reason, that this works, and the stats are looking good, and I don't know. I think it's good. Okay, I like this one too. Can I read another one?
Sure.
Okay, this is Santa can't.
Sanak hand, I guess.
Sanak can't. I don't know. Santa canned. Okay, whatever. My husband actually I love this one. My husband actually recommended it when I was telling him about a childhood dream I never got to experience, which was living alone in New York City. So we both got our own apartments for a year, and it was so romantic. We live together again, but implement way more solitude and individualism in our relationship. And now we would so do it again in the future. Oh, I love that. I think that's great. I think it's sexy.
That's mainly because it's New York City, I think, which is where you want to be.
Yeah, I want to be in New York City. So I'm thinking to myself, Jim, that maybe I will go to New York. You can stay here and we will live apart together.
That's a hard no.
So, it has to be like both of you. So I'm trying to think, what else do we want to talk about today?
One of the big things is you have to have a common goal and a common outlook of the whole situation. You have to be on the same page with regard to doing this.
Definitely. Like
you can't have one person fully on board with living with LAT, if you will, and the other person not so much so.
Right. Did I say that already about not being?
I never listened to you, so I have no idea.
Oh my God. I think I said it about not being resentful. Like
yes, you did mention,
I did. Did I talk about my husband? Like when I was married for 13 years, he traveled every week from Monday to Friday, and I hated him. I'm just being honest. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's leaving again. And I'm leaving with these kids, and he would get home on the weekend, and then I would be so angry. I'd throw the kids at him, and so that was what started.
Not literally throw the kids at him.
No, please. Not literally. I would just hand him the children and be like, here they are. It's your turn. Oh God, you're right. Like, God forbid I say I throw the kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's not helping anyone. That relationship is not going to work. But had I known that I could actually live apart together, and I was like, nice about it, and we talked about it, and we weren't resentful or mad or angry. Like, he was mad when he got home, and he was exhausted. He had a long work week. He got off the plane, and I was an absolute bitch. Like, if we had talked about it and we actually lived apart together, like, I knew that he was going every Monday and coming back every Friday. Wouldn't that have been nice? We might still be married.
That would be terrible.
It would be terrible, but at the same time, it would probably be nice.
Probably be better for you.
Probably better for everybody and for the kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I think that it's a really good option. It's a good option. So
if you can make it work, I think it's a good option.
Yeah. So there are cons.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Financially, there are lots of people who are giving me pushback saying, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. I can't afford one house, let alone two. Agreed. It is expensive to live in two homes. But we were thinking about it, Jim and I were talking about it before. And like, what about even separating to like upstairs, downstairs, or sleeping in different bedrooms, starting there, or having different bathrooms? Oh my God. I would just be happy having my own bathroom. That would solve many a problem.
Even Howard Stern mentioned the other day, like his wife was like, I can't sleep in this bedroom with you. He had actually had COVID. And, they separated bedrooms, for a day or two just to get away from one another.
But did they stay separate?
No, I think they usually are in the same space.
Well, I know that looking at like these TV shows like Selling Sunset and all these $1 million whatever, they now are making en-suites like
like 2-bedroom.
2-bedroom. Yeah. Like they have like a
Jack and Jill kind of deal, but for adults.
Yes. They have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and they're that's what people want now. They want 2 separate bedrooms.
I think most women would like not want to share the bathroom. Like that's the first thing. Like if I think if you polled your listeners, that most people would be no shared bathroom before no shared bedroom.
I agree. And no, in the closet. Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
In the closet.
Well, they've had his and her closets forever.
Yes.
Like that was the kind of the first separation, I think, was his and her closet.
Like some of my friends have the most unbelievable closets of their own. And then their husbands have these little stupid ones.
Yeah. Like a coat closet. With like actually one of those little racks that has like 6 spikes sticking off of it. And they have their 6 items of clothing they're allowed to have. And their wife has got something like a 14 by 14 room stacked to the gills.
With like a chair and purses. A little table in there and like a TV.
Makeup stand and a television.
That's what I want, honey.
And a little foot medi spa and stuff.
The little fish. The fish should eat their feet.
So I think most people, like, that was the first step was the closet. The next step is the bathroom.
Well, no, actually,
I think the third step.
The first step. Do you remember the Brady's? They had 2 twin beds.
Yes.
the
Well,
mom
that
and the
was
dad.
just for TV.
No.
I think most people,
My grandma and grandpa had 2 twin beds.
did they?
No, like my grandma and grandpa.
The
My
great.
great. Yeah.
Your greats.
I made that up. I think they probably did.
I think they had one.
No, they
Like
didn't.
bedrooms were smaller back in the day.
Don't you think they had twin beds? You don't think did your mom and dad have a twin
They
bed?
had one king bed.
A king?
Yeah, that's where the magic happened. That's
Ooh, I do not want to even think about this one.
I don't like thinking about it.
No,
either,
I cannot think.
rest in peace, mom and dad.
Yes,
but
please.
yeah. So I think, but that was for TV because TV was so restrained. That's why they would wear full pajamas. I don't think most Americans wore full pajamas and a robe and slippers in bed in their separate twin beds. Really?
You see me sleeping with you every night. I'm fully
well, that's a cold issue.
Yeah, I'm freezing cold.
That's a temperature regulation issue. That's not because you're like a patriarchal society or whatever.
Okay, this is going really off. Really off.
So anyway, so I think the bedroom is the next next.
What
move.
else is a negative? You have negatives. I don't.
Insecurity, jealousy, and insecurity. So if you're not on the same page and you're living separately and you don't trust the other person, it's like, well, what is he up to this week? Is he, is he going to the bars and picking up, girls, or is she?
Or he could have a whole other family.
Yeah.
He could literally have an entire other family in another country.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know. Oh,
yeah.
wow. That just. Yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah.
I guess it's a possibility. But I think the big thing is just, again, being on the same page with your partner. You have to have the same goal and want to do this for the right reasons. They also say that some people will, if it doesn't work out and you're living in 2 separate locations, you can actually kind of backdate your separation. Like in North Carolina, you have to be separated for a year and live separately for a year. So if things are really going to hell in your relationship, you can do this living apart together thing. And let's say you do it 6 months and be like, those 6 months count. You can say, if the relationship was really bad and the wheels do fall off, even after trying living apart together, you can say, hey, those 6 months count and you're 6 months closer to getting out of the relationship. And if you're married, of course, and into another one. So,
well, also financially, I think that someone asked me, one of my listeners was like, do you guys share your finances? Yeah. You and I, and we do not. Our finances are completely separate. But we share stuff like one day you'll get dinner, I'll get dinner. We share when we go out, you typically pay for everything. But I mean, as far as when we're in the house and stuff, I think you definitely come to my house more often now than I go to your house.
That's because you never leave the house.
That's because I like my house.
You like your nest.
I like my nest. My nest is best. But I think that financially there are pros and cons, right? What about tax?
Absolutely. Yeah. You're paying taxes and mortgages or rent or whatever your situation is. So you're paying for 2 homes to live in.
Yeah.
And for a married couple to make this change, I think is a lot more difficult than 2 established people. For our situation, when other people like us, I think it really works. If you're 2 people coming from a marriage, and you're independent, you have your independent household set up to then maintain that for your relationship with the new person. Yeah. So you kept the kids separate, you kept the home separate, you didn't combine everything. If you can afford that, I think it really works. It's certainly difficult if we were married, husband and wife for a long time in the same house, then I got to go look for another place to live and all that other stuff. That's much more difficult, I think.
Agree. And how do you feel about, I know how I feel, but my kids, for example, they both have girlfriends and they're obviously in college, so they're living apart, but they're together, right? But I want them to start a family and I would like them to start by getting married. But what if they came to me and they're like, Mom, look, I got a job in Green Bay and Marnie got a job in New York and we're going to stay together and we're going to get married, but we're going to live apart. I mean,
sure.
Do I have a problem with that? No, I mean, I guess not, right?
Well, I don't think you can. That makes sense, I think, until kids come in. When kids come into the picture, living apart together, I think falls apart.
I don't know. I think that's what this is.
Unless you're, have enough means to have help and stuff. But I think it's important. I don't want to I don't want to bash single parenting and stuff, but I think if everybody can be happy,
don't bash single parenting.
I'm not saying bashing it, but if everybody can get along, I think it helps the child to grow up with 2 caregivers.
Oh boy!
Ultimately,
here we go.
That may ruffle some feathers, but
Jim,
I think
Jim's done here, everyone. And thank you very much. This has been a great podcast. I just lost half my listeners. I'm just kidding.
I think if you can make it work,
yes,
I mean,
of course,
obviously,
I agree too. My second book was that.
I would rather have 2 committed caregivers, then,
Healthy.
now if it's a toxic situation,
No.
then by all
Well, yeah,
means,
that's
then
how I
like
feel.
someone, I'd rather be alone, have one caregiver that really cares and
Absolutely.
get rid of the toxic person.
Right.
But if there's two well-meaning,
Yeah, and I
well-intentioned,
think
getting
starting
along
off
people,
together,
yeah,
you want to be in the same. You know what? This is look at.
and there's a lot of work when the kids, sub 5. I mean, there is a lot of work involved, and to have that second person there, I think helps.
A lot of the kids, this generation, what is it, Gen, that my kids are in?
I don't Z, millennial,
Gen Z, X, Y, Q.
I can't keep them straight.
I can't either. They are not. They're talking about not having kids.
Yeah,
a lot of kids don't want to have kids, especially after they've seen what their parents have gone through with divorce. And
a lot of them don't even have girlfriends or boyfriends. Like they just rely. Like that's the big talk is like AI could become the girlfriend or boyfriend. Like you could deal with a computer person.
I'm the dating person here, Jim. I'm just going to tell you right now that is false.
I think it could happen.
The stats are showing that the Gen XYZ or Q, whatever
the latest
they are, the latest gen, they're absolutely more relationship prone.
Really?
Yes, they're all in relationships. They all want a relationship. They're all looking for relationships. I shouldn't say all. That's a gross general. That's a stupid thing to say. A lot of them, most of them, some of them, a high percentage of them want to be in relationships. So ding dong, you're wrong.
I hope so. I heard something on the radio the other day.
What do you mean that AI
about AI, and the fear is that more people will. We've gone off the rails here, but many people are like they don't have friends anymore. They just exist with everyone online. So you're setting up these really lonely people that just their only friends are computer stuff. Or through a screen and like.
Oh, that's it. But they're real people. They're not AI.
No, but like ultimately, like they would rather have a relationship with some fake being
yes, I did see that.
Through a screen than have a relationship with a real person at the other end.
I did read that. That was in New York Times.
Like that's how it's progressed. Like it's gone from like you'll see 4 kids at ever seen this 4 kids at at a dinner table or at like at a restaurant,
well, of course.
And they're just texting each other.
Yeah,
like they're all seated together, but instead of having a conversation,
but whose problem is that?
They're sending gifs or gifs, whatever you want to call them, and memes and stuff just back and forth to each other rather than talking.
Oh yeah. Yes, I totally agree with you there. I thought you meant that like the AI person was their relationship, like they were having an affair with an AI person.
No, that's like that's the fear as it goes to this next step.
Fucking nuts, Jim. That is like
look, I don't want to go Joe Rogan on you, but like that is the fear.
For Cocoa Puffs. No,
that is the fear. Is
so you
that
mean to say that like your kid could come home and be like, I'm going to marry someone? Jim.
Yes.
Okay, then we're done here.
Yes. That's the fear. Like it's not. I don't know if it's happening. But that's the fear as AI develops that more and more people.
Okay, I'm scared now.
would rather have a computer relationship than a real person relationship.
Oh wow. Okay, everybody.
I mean, there's some.
Let's find our
unique
empathy.
people out there. I'm not. Anyway,
let's dig deep and find our empathy in our hearts today, and
interact with people. We're humans.
With people. Put down your phones. I don't let my kids have their phones at meals. You are on the phone constantly.
Your children were on the phone constantly yesterday.
Well, not at dinner. Were they? Well, we were at Mark's house. But yes. I mean, like you are always, I'm calling him out right now. You're always on your phone, honey. Are you having an AI affair?
I am not having an AI affair.
Oh my God, I think you are. What's her name?
Amazon Incorporated.
I can't stop. It's
AI, Amazon Incorporated.
Oh, I just got that. Wow.
Well, she is blonde, folks. She is blonde.
That took me a minute. Oh, shit.
With all respect to blonde people.
Oh, now look at okay, now
I've insulted single parents and blonde people.
And anyone else you'd like to insult now?
No, I think and computer people. I've insulted them and stuff.
And everybody else. I'm seriously.
Look, I don't know what I'm talking about. Just disregard me.
This podcast is. Oh.
I'm here just because she likes me. Really,
I really do like you, honey, and I do want to live apart together forever.
Really?
Yes, I think I do. I can't stand you sometimes when you're here.
I'd better be able to spend some significant time in this kitchen.
Yeah, you can. Well, what you'll do is you'll come over and you'll cook.
And then I'll leave like hired help.
It's going to be a gorgeous kitchen. We're going to do before and afters on my feed. It is really, Jim. Thank you.
I hope so.
It's a beautiful engagement kitchen.
It better look decent.
It's an engagement kitchen I can wear on my finger. I hope it looks good. It's taking forever. Fucking Lowe's.
Easy.
I'm calling them out. It's fucking bullshit. Oh man, I get so pissed about it.
Well, we had cabinets that were delivered. Some were damaged. So
why do you always stick up for them?
Well, I mean, I try to be a realist, Jen.
Okay.
Some of us are
before
realists.
we go,
let's focus back on
before we go.
LAT.
Let's just say living apart together, we think is good. We also feel like blending families is not good. But that's, by the way, go look at my past, put in.
But it is situation dependent.
Yeah, situation dependent. But just go put in Jennifer Hurvitz, Doing Relationships Right, Blending Families, and you'll find that one. Can we talk about Coco New?
Sure.
Coco New is lube. I can say it here because I can't say it on my Facebook. It's lube. It's awesome. I use it on my fingernails and on my vagina.
Do you use it on your vagina?
No, not really. I just said that. I have to, we could. I haven't yet. We can. Anyway,
you do use it on your fingers.
I do use it on my fingernails.
And is that supposed to be used on your fingers? Because your fingernails are looking great, actually.
Yeah, they look great.
So I don't know if that's
that's
Coco New. The Coco New has a whole new off-label use, I think.
Yeah, they said. No, that's for nails, for skin, for hair. They did a whole thing on it. It's organic.
It's vaginas.
It's vaginas. It's for peppies. It's got it's paraben free. It's everything free, gluten free. Everything free. Smell. It's great. It really
Price
is.
Free?
No, it's not free. But you get 15% off if you use my code MS15. I don't know what MS stands for. Magical. I don't know what MS stands for. Why they gave? I don't know. MS15 is my code. We'll put it in the show notes at coconew.com.
Can you spell Coco New? I have no clue to spell.
Coco New. COCONU.
There you go.
Use my code, get some yummy stuff. They have really cute stuff on their website is amazing. I think it's so cute.
So not Coco from Flashdance.
It's the same thing. That's how she spells it. Coco. Oh, she KO?
I don't know.
Oh, God. Okay, this is CO. Coco New. Anyway.
New.com.
For the win. So that's that. We love you. Go love someone apart.
How many listeners did you lose today?
I don't know. Seriously, I have no idea.
Here's people saying remove podcast.
I love our podcast. People love them. Okay, Sienna, honey, do some work on this one. I love you, girl. My producer, Sienna.
John himself could fix this.
Yes, they could. She is so good. She's going to make this right. I love you guys. Do something great today. Do something fabulous. Talk to someone with your mouth. Put down your phones. Make eye contact. Love the one you're with. What else you got?
Stay apart together.
Stay apart together. That's it, you guys. Stay apart together. Living apart. Live. Lat. And that's it. Follow me everywhere. Doing Relationships Right. That's it. I love you guys.
Oh, your TV appearance is coming up. You didn't mention that.
Oh, TV. I'm on the TV all the time. Charlotte Today. I'm on TV all the time. But you can see, you can always check out my website and see me on TV because they're all there. But yeah, so that's good. Okay, y'all. I love you. Peace, love, and so much truth. Thank you, Jim, for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys. Peace, love, and so much truth. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Doing Relationships Right. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the show, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast episodes. And please grab my books, One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, on my website, jenniferhurvitz.com. And look out for my new book, all about doing dating right, coming soon. As usual, thanks for listening. See you next week. Peace, love, and truth.